Scotterdale.
Yes.
He's had 16 bouts, 16 wins, 10 by knockout. He holds already the ISKA Australian Light Middleweight and the East Coast Championship, wearing multicoloured new tie trunks, black and red, with Dave Hitchcock, Steve Irvine and Ray Giles in the corner. Would you welcome the challenger, Victorian Pony Sam Soliman. Across the ring, 21 years of age, from Doncaster, Victoria. He holds the Galaxy of Championships, including the WKA South Pacific Middleweight Championship. 25 bouts, 20 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 12 by knockout. Last time out, captured the WKA Championship on the Silvio Moroni, Mark Cassidy Blitz Show, May 15, with Bryce Ferguson in the corner, defending champion wearing white trunks, with the ace, Louie, the ace, Iosifidis. 8 rounds, Mr. Joe Lenciano.
Louie, Iosifidis and Sam Soliman tonight at the Melbourne Entertainment Centre. 19th of June, moment of truth. Tonight, kickboxing, WKO Australian middleweight title, USA rules. 8 2-minute rounds. This is Nick Zachariah with Rob Gaylard, bringing you every bit of action on the 19th of June.
Lots of kickboxing progress and boxing tonight. Billy Wright is your sound man. Round 1.
Okay, first round starting. Louie Iosifidis looking very fit tonight, fighting Pony Boy.
World Championship referee, Joe Lenciano. Great to see Percy Lenciano and Frank Lenciano ringside. Round 1.
Couple of very exciting fighters tonight. Be very interested to see which way the fight goes. Sam Soliman, very quick on his feet.
Work it out. Break. Stop. Don't hold the punch, guys. What's the back of the
Louie very hungry. Bit of body wrestling going on. Can't see what much is happening. A lot of body punches. Sam Soliman and Louie Iosifidis, the Iceman. Ooh, big right then from Sam Soliman. And a break by Joe Lanciano. Big left by Pony Boy. Big left kick. Nice body combination by Sam Soliman. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iceman. A lot of combinations thrown by both opponents. And bit of a break there. Sam Soliman dropping his guard there. Should have his hand up a little bit higher. Not so good responding back.
Keep working.
Two of these boys are very hard trainers. Sam Soliman, 9 kick fights, 9 wins, no defeats. 19 years old. Last fight defeated Angie Gooses for the Australian title. Iosifidis trying to catch him with a left cross.
Okay, break. Step back. Clear for the room.
Nice right roundhouse kick by Iosifidis. Round 1 here at the Melbourne Entertainment Centre. I'll switch you through to Rob Gaylard.
Well, Nick, Louie Iosifidis, of course, known as the Iceman, is always one of these fighters that brings the crowd to their feet. And we've spoken about a lot of the boxers and a lot of the fighters throughout the night of having what we might call a good kit of punches and a good array of punches. Iosifidis is one who has got a heap of them. As far as Sam Soliman concerned, he's, well, we've probably done through the record. He's had 9 kick fights and so far undefeated. So he's a young fella that's come in here with a reasonable record, the 19-year-old. In fact, he beat Ange Gooses for the Australian, or or one of the Australian titles. So, and as boxers and amateur, so when you come in with a record like that, we've got two fighters fairly well matched tonight.
Definitely matched perfectly, I reckon, Rob. I mean, Sam Soliman's a very hungry youngster, and Iosifidis is definitely doesn't want to lose his title tonight, so he's going to put in a lot of action, but there's a lot of groping going on so far, so the fight hasn't been clear as I'd like to see it
Well,
to be.
we're talking WKA rules. For those that aren't familiar with kickboxing, perhaps you might like to explain what will actually happen.
WKA rules is kicking in and outside the thigh, no spinning back fist, no elbows, kicking and punching to the head. Leg sweeps are allowed.
Sam Soliman, the spinning back kick.
Both fighters are good kick fighters.
Taking the legs out from underneath of Louie Iosifidis. And his trainer, Bryce Birdwhistle. And Dave Hedgecock in the opposite corner at the moment. Iosifidis trying to, interesting, trying to watch him trying to chop down with that heel in the back. Hard to do a lot of damage.
But over a period of time there, it can wear into the muscle tissue and
there it is
create a
again.
lot of pain, yeah.
There it is again. Interesting. Don't see many kick fighters use that. So the Iceman in close range, and of course the bottom line, trying to take the legs out from underneath him again, almost came to fruition. The Pony Boy. But of course the only way to use that to advantage, as Iosifidis works to the inside of that leg there of Soliman. The best way for that kick to be utilised, of course, Nick, to be able, no damage done, to be able to actually, oh no, he's put a count on him. Gee.
With a front right kick to the shins, he dropped Iosifidis. You can see Iosifidis bleeding a little bit from the shin, but no bother.
And the crowd really coming alive here at the Entertainment Centre. The skills of kickboxing to the fore so far, the best of the night. And it's a real wrestle, these two, both evenly matched. Left hand by Iosifidis there on Soliman. And again, that heel into the back of the thigh. And I was about to say before, Nick, when that really started to heat up, the best way to use that particular kick to its advantage is to turn around and almost put your whole weight and grab hold of the back of the neck of the other fighter so that you've got to drag him in you and he just cannot escape it.
Then you can just drag that heel in.
This is round 3 of 8 two-minute rounds. WKA Australian middleweight title. And as Nick Zachariah mentioned to you before, WKA rules of kickboxing being utilised. In the red corner, Louie Iosifidis. How do you see the fight so far, Nick?
To be really honest with you, Rob, it's
very hard, isn't it?
very, very hard. It's very hard and a very tangly type of fight. It's not a clear fight. It's not punch for punch. They're both getting in there like...
Well, one compulsory count put on Iosifidis, so that must stick in the mind of the judges. Louie Iosifidis out of the red corner, Sam Soliman out of the Hedgecock camp. I haven't seen Soliman for quite some time. What I've seen so far, a real terrier.
He's a very light kickboxer in the kickboxing industry, Soliman is, and definitely a promising future.
Iosifidis coming in, trying to use the hands, grabs him in a headlock. Soliman pushes him onto the ropes. Ooh. Trying to take the legs of Iosifidis out again. Has done it with aplomb so far in the fight, but unfortunately throwing himself off balance. Ooh, big right hand there came from Iosifidis, didn't find its mark. But as you said before, still working to the back of that thigh. As you said before, perhaps just a little scrappy and a little untidy.
Yes,
okay. Now, we'll have a look here, and I reckon that's almost a deduction.
Kick in the back of the hamstring can bruise the tendons in the hamstring area, which could make it very awkward for the opponent to throw very relaxed kicks.
Soliman using all the skills. And Iosifidis still quite content just to jag away. And that's about what it is too, Nick, isn't it? It's a jag on the back of that thigh. As you say, off the hamstrings, Iosifidis using the hands. Soliman in the black trunks. Big clash of shins. And Iosifidis again, trying to drag him. Have a look at him again. He'll drag him in over the top and then bring that
heel
back into the hamstring again. Still working on that left leg. Showing no effects, though. Good nick, these two kids.
Yeah, they're very, very strong. A lot of leg kicks going on. A lot of pain in the shins there, Rob. Getting that completely bruised.
Well, good outside leg kick that time from Iosifidis. Found the left thigh of Soliman.
More like a tug of war there.
And this has brought the crowd to its feet right over our commentary position here at the moment. These two Fox Terriers, let's liken them to. And Iosifidis heading straight to the corner. Both fighters still looking fairly fresh.
I can see this in the Hitchcock corner. Sam Soliman's got some ice getting rubbed on his shin. Obviously, he must be bruising there.
Well, I noticed on one of the fighters just before, you did allude to being what we might call just a bit of a scratch, but there's been a couple of clashes of shins.
Oh, yes, there has. I'll be quite interested to see who comes up on top out of these two youngsters tonight.
So
I know Louie Iosifidis is a big favourite in Melbourne, and so is Sam. So it's a very well matched fight tonight. I don't think anyone could dispute that, Rob.
Well, I'm looking at the composure of Sam Soliman in that blue corner, listening to Dave Hitchcock, and Ray Giles just leaning over, offering a few words of wisdom. And I detect a quiet air of confidence. Iosifidis is just as game, and as you said, he's a real crowd favourite. Tug of war in centre ring. Soliman saying, I'm trying to get away, but he keeps dragging me in underneath.
Nice roundhouse from Soliman.
Good kick.
See Soliman throwing those uppercuts with his right. Very powerful, but Sam not connecting.
Ooh, yeah, that was a nasty clash. And I say nasty, chin on chin.
Could actually hear it from here, Rob.
Step back. Second warning and a warning.
Come on, work it up, Lou, work it up. Come on, work it up.
Oh, break.
Sam Soliman. As if to say to the referee, well, hang on, it was an accident. But it's ring craft, that's what it's all about. If you can get away with it, good, Nick.
Yeah, I just see the Sam Soliman's face cringe up there when he got that chin kick. Must have really hurt then.
Yes, a little bit of a grimace. We see again the first sign. And that'll give Iosifidis a little bit of heart. As both these two young fellows wrestle. Heading back into the corner. And Soliman. Iosifidis just a little untidy with the legs. But again, he still works to that hamstring.
If he works that hamstring hard enough, it'll restrict his kicks later on. It'll bruise the area which restricts the kicks of the opponent.
And we're talking 8 2-minute rounds. Again, around almost what you might term a roundhouse kick that time. Now, inside, working on the inside. You can see Iosifidis backing with the heel. And for those of you introduced to the sport for the first time and having a look at this tonight, spinning back kick.
Followed through with a left roundhouse by Sam Soliman.
For those of you introduced to kickboxing for the first time, it's a ploy of many fighters, and none more so evident than that of Stan Longanides, one of the most powerful kickers, the heavyweight champion. That work on the legs, do the damage, the top half of the body comes down, and bang, and you come to finish off the job. We're into round 5 of this Australian middleweight title. And I've put you under pressure before, Nick. And Conversalis just sitting along from us, how we see this fight at the moment. To be quite honest, I really couldn't go either way. There's not much between these two kids.
No, they're toe-to-toe, I'd say.
But we'll have to put our reputation on the line at the end of round 8, Nick, I can tell you. Get away with it for the first couple.
Well, look, just to make it exciting, Rob, I'm going to go for Sam Soliman.
Already?
I'm going to go for Sam Soliman.
Okay.
And you can, maybe you want to back Sam Iosifidis, and we'll have our little private bet here. I
just get the impression that perhaps it might be Soliman who does the damage with the hand. Well, good left hand there from Iosifidis.
Occasionally you see a few good combinations, but they're definitely grabbing each other a lot.
That's distinct from the other fights that we've seen. Not a lot of work to the body with the hands. And when you get two good kickers together and working. Good kick to the midriff from Iosifidis. And Soliman walked into that. You might have heard the click from here. Across the top of the body, or the chest. And you can see now, you can start to see where Soliman, every time he gets that, or is anticipating that kick to the back of the thigh, he's lifting the knee up. So the actual heel is coming down in behind the knee and not into that hamstring, as you pointed out before.
Could damage the tendons in the knee.
Well, points taken off.
Sam Soliman.
Second time in the fight. Clash of skins again for both fighters. I don't know whether it's a ploy of Iosifidis or whether it's just that the way Soliman's coming in underneath the body that he's working that heel. Kick taken, bit of noise, but taken on the forearms of Soliman.
I can see that Louie is bothered by the fight. Every time he starts throwing some combinations, Sam Soliman seems to grab him. You've noticed that, Rob.
But he's bottled Soliman up a little bit in this round. In fact, the last two rounds, Louie, as you said before, though, Nick, it's probably a scrappy fight before it's been what you'd call a good, clean kickboxing spectacle.
Yes. Nice strike cross by
good
Soliman
uppercut
there.
by Soliman then. That found the mark with Iosifidis undeterred. The end of round 5. Another good round that time for Soliman. And as far as my co-commentator here, Nick Zachariah, says that's his man in the corner.
See, Dave Hitchcock got a little bit annoyed with Joe Lancianis just then over some of the decisions that Joe has put forward.
Penalised him for.
Yes.
Perhaps again, explain the reason of the loss of points.
I didn't quite catch it, to be quite honest with you, Rod. I think holding on to the ropes.
Well, either way, what I suppose we're trying to tell you, if you're watching kickboxing for the first time, referee has the right, if he sees something either illegal or something untoward from the rules, has then a chance or has the right to turn around, notify the 3 judges at ringside and deduct a point for that discrepancy. Twice it's happened to the blue corner, that of Soliman, which, especially when you're fighting for an Australian title, that's something you don't want taken off you.
Again, Sam Soliman is in there, very, very aggressive. Leg sweep, cross,
looking
a lot
for
of hand
another cut.
combinations.
Found the mark there from Soliman. A shin kick, just losing his balance.
Very excited young fighter, Sam Soliman.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Bryce Birtwasser. He thought there was a bit of luck coming their way. It was just a loss of balance as far as I was concerned from Soliman.
I see Dave Scorner's complaining about what's going on.
Well, Soliman looking to load up there with a punch, but Iosifidis ducking the head, just pushing him back into the ropes. Louie, cut from inside the lip at the moment. Oh, good kick. And looking to follow it up with a kick to the head, but again taken on the forearms by the Pony Boy. Both fighters starting to show a few battle scars. And just getting the doctor to have a look inside the lip here of Iosifidis. And I hope the fight doesn't get stopped because of that technicality, but the bottom line, we must believe, and we must think also of their welfare.
Nice roundhouse by Sam Soliman.
Soliman has done a bit of damage to Iosifidis, and that'll spur him on, but Iosifidis knows that perhaps any more damage done could spell the end of the fight for him. And bleeding quite profusely from a bad cut on the lip. I didn't see whether it came from a leg or whether it came from a punch. Could have even been a clash of heads, as both fighters have really been scrapping in this centre ring at the Entertainment Centre. This Australian middleweight title Oh, good kick from Soliman. Just inside. Brought Iosifidis to the ground. Again, looking for a kick to the midriff. Hanging on.
Definitely is a messy fight, Rod. You can't really make too much of it once they grab each other.
When you've got two cock sparrows fighting for a lot at stake. Good uppercut from Soliman, has found the mark again. And when I see that's the way that... when I look at the blood that's coming from the mouth of Louie Iosifidis, it may have even come from one of those uppercuts. He's had plenty of them.
You're going to win this. Do you want it? Do you want it?
And round 7, Rob, we're into, and I can see that there's an incredible amount of bruising on Sam Soliman's shins there, and see Steve Irvine there with the ice rubbing it on his shin. Both boys have got definite war scars.
Well, I'm looking in the Iosifidis camp in the red corner, and they've patched up whatever damage has been done to that lip, but they're not working on it furiously, so they can't be too worried about it, Nick. Louie Iosifidis.
Actually, he copped it with the right then and the left cross.
Combination.
Yeah, it was a nice combination then by Sam Soliman.
Well, the 19-year-old has had 9 kick fights, undefeated so far, Soliman. And as I said before, his last fight he beat a very good fighter in Angie Gousis. And that was for the Australian amateur title. Now, this is the big ranks, the pro ranks, working underneath. And both fighters still content to hang on. And Soliman working to the inside of the legs of Iosifidis, and Iosifidis trying to do damage to those hamstrings. Iosifidis found a hamstring with a kick on that occasion. There was no heel in that.
Nice right cross for Soliman.
Oh, Soliman opens up with good left and right combination, but Iosifidis not done with. Comes back and hangs on, works to the inside of that left leg of Soliman's. And Soliman lays into him with the shoulder.
Soliman just really ripped in there with a few good combinations. Bam, to the right side. Both boys are definitely having a ball out there tonight. Nice roundhouse kick by Sam Soliman. But didn't connect quite well then, Rob.
Iosifidis camp getting quite excited. And again, turning around and a good kick. And must put the compulsory count on him this time. Now they're looking to try and finish him off. Louie Iosifidis running out of time in this round. Comes in with a kick, trying to drag the legs from underneath him. A punch to the back of the head of Soliman. Hedgecock, the cab urging their boy on.
Sam Soliman tied Rob, and
very quickly.
He's tiring out through this round. Got to keep this up for another round.
And a good combination, got caught there relaxing. Can't afford to, concentration paramount. And Iosifidis picked the mark. Soliman having a good combination of punches earlier in this round, but hasn't done much since.
Sam Soliman is a little bit in pain, I reckon. His right shin's just a mess. If you have a good close look at it, Rob, it seems to be going like a bluey black. Oh,
good bruising.
Nice right
Iosifidis finishing off the stronger. And as you said before, the sting has gone right out of Sam Soliman. And an enormous amount of bruising on that shin. So Iosifidis has been doing a lot of work.
You can hurt him, mate. He's got some oil. Breathe it up, son. Breathe it up, mate. You understand me? You've got to be fair. You've got to show him. Concentrate. Don't just throw him. Concentrate on what you're trying to achieve.
You've gone for Soliman, of course, in the blue corner, so you've left me with only one choice.
And that's Louie Iosifidis.
So far, with all due respect, I think you might have pulled the wrong rein, Nick.
Yeah, I think I might have. But
early, though, I will go with you. Soliman was probably the aggressor. But, gee, that shin lower down. There's been an enormous amount of work done to it. And it's even starting, you can see there, Nick, it's even starting to really puff up now.
A lot of pain in that.
As the corner has been trying to put the ice on that. And this is the final. The Australian title at stake. Soliman and Iosifidis. The white tracks to mine, perhaps just with a little bit of an edge at the moment. As Sam Soliman starting to tire, looking to take the legs of Iosifidis out from underneath him. Scrappy. Iosifidis left hand up underneath, trying to break through. Now over the top, just clubbing right hands. Getting a warning from the referee. Don't hang on. Oh, left himself wide open then, Sam Soliman, to come in. As he spun around with the head down and forcing Louie Iosifidis back onto the ropes. Inside with leg kicks.
Sam Soliman.
More of a slip there, right?
He's totally lost his balance by the looks of it, Rob. Sam Soliman's in a bad way, I reckon. Not really
still
doing
throwing
too well.
leather. Yeah, and until that bell goes, there's still a chance in there, Nick. Kick to the midriff.
His right leg's dead, Rob. Sam Soliman's right leg. I mean, his shin is so badly bruised. That's the only thing that seems to be bothering him. I can see the bruising in his shin's incredible.
Looking to try and finish off Soliman. And walked into one. Now he's in trouble. Louie can finish him off. But Soliman, determination, hanging in there, doing it almost from memory. Glove caught in the ring. Oh, good kick. Good kick. And Iosifidis looking to finish off, but losing balance over the top again. Soliman there at the moment, just trying to last this round out. Iosifidis over the top.
David Hitchcock getting very excited in the corner, yelling at Sam. Tell him to move, leave it.
It's all very well to tell him, Nick, but I don't think he can.
No, I think...
And that signals the end of this Australian middleweight title. It did go the distance. As to perhaps what the result will be, Dave Hitchcock going over there at the moment and dragging his fighter back. He went over just to acknowledge the good fight between himself and Louie Iosifidis. And Hitchcock saying, get back under this corner. I want to have a word with you. The judges telling up their total, the three judges here tonight. And Howard Lee in centre ring. Let's cross over. See who is victor of this Australian middleweight title.
Representative Troy Philippe. Good evening, George. George Soliman. Thank you, George, for your marvellous gift last time. Okay, this is our semi-main event. We'll have a decision, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, by unanimous points, and still the WKA middleweight champion, Louie the Iosifidis.
Well, Louie Iosifidis retains his crown, and justly so, rightly so, as Howard Lee at the moment has a chat with the loser.
He's a very good champion, very hard.
Well, congratulations to Louie for the fight. Hopefully I'll be fit for it next time if he wants to rematch.
Anytime.
Okay, Sam Soliman. Louie Iosifidis is a very accomplished man and a Australian champion. It's going to be a tough battle right from the outset.
Well, I mean, all the odds were on Louie. Everyone was saying we were putting out a business in the first or second round, but I think he showed what a great champion he is. He actually sat early on his back a couple of times. And I think with a little bit more experience, he's 19 years of age. Louie's the present champion, but that might not be for much longer.
Louie embrace him across. Still a champion. Come on, Louie the Iosifidis. Louie, it was, well, you use an old cliche, no love lost in centre ring. You two guys went hammer and tongs.
Yeah, Sam fought well. He's all good to fight. That's probably good. Sorry? Yeah, he's an all good fighter. I came out to fight. You know, the holding plays a big part of fighting. If you always hold and you can't fight. As for the rematch goes, no, I'm prepared to give Sam a rematch. He proved himself to me, and I'm prepared to give him a rematch here today. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and supporting the boxing. I'd like to thank my team. Most of them are there, I think. Everyone for coming. and just everyone for coming and making this possible. Thank you.
Well, our champion retains his Australian middleweight title. The big one of the night coming up, Tosca Petridis